The teaching of the Buddha can help many people. Not only the people who have a high intellectual capacity, and the people who do not have enough education. So the teaching of the Buddha help everyone. So there is Buddhism. There is the kind of Buddhism for the vast majority, and then there is deep Buddhism for only a minority. So these teachings might contradict each other as far as the form is concerned. And that is why it is said that in Buddhism there are 4,000 Dhammadors. Many kinds of teaching and many kinds of practice. And there are those who are afraid of punishment. And if they know how to be afraid of retribution, and they behave better, because they are afraid of retribution. And that is why to talk to them about hell, all kind of hells, hot and cold and so on, that may happen. This is kind of threat. If you behave like that, you will suffer like this. So in many temples you see drawing of hell, and that's kind of warning. If you don't practice the 5 precepts, you will suffer like that. You'll be boiled in hot oil or something like that. If you lie and then they take when you go to the hell, they take your tongue and they cut your tongue. And that helps many people also. But that does not help other people. That is popular Buddhism. And we know that the vast majority believe in rebirth, in reincarnation, but their belief is based on the wrong view of a self. There is a self, there is a soul that is distinct from the body, and when the body is gone, the soul always survives and seeks to penetrate into another body and continue. That is a kind of belief on rebirth and so on. And that is the teaching of rebirth, but it's not truly the deep teaching of the Buddha, because it is based on the wrong view of the self. So any teaching that goes against the insight of impermanence, no self, and nirvana cannot be described as the deepest teaching. So whether you are thinking about cause and effect, rebirth, retribution, if your teaching and your practice do not reflect the insight of impermanence, no self, and nirvana, and that is not truly the teaching of the Buddha. So there are many things that has come from the teaching of the Vedas, of the Upanishads. We know that before the Buddha, there was already the belief in reincarnation and retribution. It's not invented by the Buddha. The teaching of retribution and reincarnation had already existed before the coming of the Buddha. But this teaching was based on the existence of a self. The Buddha, although he teaches the continuation, life after life, but his teaching is based on the insight of no self, impermanence, and finally nirvana, no birth and no death. So, but that kind of belief, which is not purely Buddhist, can also help. And there are those who believe that the Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha is not here, but in the direction of the West. And you get there only after you die. But there are those of us who have a better, a different view. We know that the Pure Land, the true Pure Land, is in the here and the now. It does not have to be in the West or in the East. When your mind is pure, and then the land is pure also at the same time, which is goes more in the direction of right view. But the spirit of Buddhism is tolerance. So there are those who cannot understand deep Buddhism. You have to allow them to understand, to embrace a form of Buddhism is more diluted, like the medicine with some sugar in it, and they happen. So we are not criticizing them because their teaching and belief do not go perfectly with the ultimate truth. And because we have compassion, and because we have understanding, that is why compassion is possible. And a true Buddhist is always tolerant, not fanatical. And if you are skillful, you can lead him or her slowly so that they gradually abandon their wrong view and get a better and better view all the times. And that may be applied to all of us. In the beginning, we have an idea about the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. After 10 years of practice, we have a better view of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And after 50 years, we have a deeper understanding of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So according to that, we should learn the lesson of tolerance. We should not think that our view is the best, because we are making progress, and we are ready to abandon the present view in order to get a better view, and that is the practice of non-attachment to view. So in Buddhism, if you have that insight, you'll be very tolerant and you accept other forms of Buddhism. You don't criticize. Only you can help people to have a better and better view and better practice. And that is why there should not be conflict and war between Buddhist school of Buddhism. And that has been a reality. There are so many schools in Buddhism, but they never organize holy war in order to fight each other. And we should be able to keep that tradition, tolerance. And tolerance is, you are not forced to be tolerant, but because you have a right view, that is why your heart is open. And you can tolerate those who do not have the same kind of view as yours. But you should try with loving speech and deep listening in order to help him or her to abandon her view that may still have fanaticism or things like that in it. And here we learn that the present moment is not something that can exist independently from the past and from the future. You cannot cut and separate the past, present, and future, because the three times, past, present, future, they interact. In one of them, you see the other two. And that is why if you touch the present moment deeply, you touch the past and you touch the future. And that is why the past is still available. And the future is already available. And that is the insight you get when you meditate on the nature of interbeing of time.